Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Sokani X60 V2 Video Light. This is an 80-watt COB light, 5600K. It has a wireless remote control. It comes with a carry case, $170 US. I'll include a link in the description, and this was furnished to me by the manufacturer for review purposes. Now, the reason I'm sharing it with all of you is that this may be one of the most affordable and best performing lights on the market, not just for video, but still photography as well. And that's because unlike the first generation or the V1, the V2 has improved in two important ways. Number one, the fan noise has been reduced significantly. That is per the manufacturer. And the yoke has been improved in terms of its capability to hold up when mounting soft boxes on it, as well as other accessories, umbrellas, things of that nature. So without further ado, let's get this out. It does have a Bowens mount for those of you that are wondering. Really nothing to show here on the brown box. It's all about what we're going to find inside. So let's get this thing open. And if you're looking for an affordable video light, I don't know that you're going to be able to beat what Sokani has put together here. Now, historically, there are many different COB lights on the market, obviously, and that has always meant, a lot of options, which generally is a good thing, but not always when it comes to quality control. But literally, just about everything I've read about this light has been positive, and that's why when the manufacturer asked me if I wanted to take a look at it, I said sure, because again, inexpensive, incredibly lightweight, incredibly small overall, and just more thought when it comes to design and overall quality. So in the top of this little carry case with blue piping, we have the power brick, which is fairly compact, and on that we have a 90-degree angle power pin. I'm curious to see how it's going to actually mate with the actual light, because as many of you know, when you've got a power brick hanging, sometimes it will flex the actual connection, sometimes it won't. Now this is the remote. I'm looking to see if there's a clean way to open this. It doesn't seem there is. So let's go ahead and just pop this off. And I have to say that, wireless remotes are necessary with these sorts of lights, and sometimes they're great, sometimes they are terrible. And that can often be yet another, not make or break feature, but something that should work well and often, unfortunately, does not. I'm not saying they don't function at all, but a lot of times, I've seen lights that are fantastic and then their control, the remote control, is not. There is the actual instruction. We've got carry strap for this. And I did mention, I believe, that this is a Bowens mount capable light. That's another thing they've improved. I believe the locking mechanism. We have a little lanyard here. Go ahead and pop this out. It is mirrored to essentially make the throw of the light even stronger. I already mentioned this is a daylight 5600K light. So, right now I do have a much more powerful light than this 80-watt solution. But if this does the trick for me, I have no reason to not transition to the Sokani, because it's smaller, more power efficient, and quite frankly, who wants, power-sucking gigantic gear when you could get something like this? Now, I can already tell you this thing is, I'm shocked at its size. I mean, I know I said that it was going to be small, but I didn't expect it to be this small. I mean, compared to the COB I'm using right now, the Video Light, this is a fraction of its size. I would say it's literally a quarter of the size. On the rear of the light, we have our, readout for functions, power switch, and yes, as I mentioned, this was something I wanted to see, which was how this was going to link up. And you can already see this is not something that is going to put flex on the actual connection, on the pin connection here, because of the 90-degree plug. So I already like that. The improved yoke that I was also mentioning, essentially what, at least the Gen 1 unit, I saw a lot of complaints were that basically it could not hold up. So when you had a softbox on this, you actually ran into an issue where it would just droop. And you can already see right here that what they've done in order to improve that, is not a amazing or brilliant thing, but they've just beefed up the actual mechanism so that when you tighten it, you can see essentially that those are teeth and they lock and it's sturdy. I can already tell you that I cannot move it. I mean, I can't imagine throwing a tremendous softbox on here, but of course you can because the power of this light, if it does come up as rated, is still very strong for its size. Again, I'm shocked at how small this thing is, and it'll just be interesting to see how it works out. So with the Bowens mount, I'm just going to pop that right on. It should just line up and lock in. Well, trying to line it up and lock in. And the beauty of a light like this is, again, that, there it is that it's so compact, it's affordable, and it'll still do the job. And then it doesn't have to only be a video light. As I mentioned, if you're doing still photography on the yoke, we do have additional mounts. So if you want to mount an umbrella, you can do that. You can see the fan right here. They've really cleared this out, so it looks like it should run relatively cool, I hope. But, you know, time will tell. I will test it and we'll find out. And in terms of presets, I believe it has, you can see there's an effect button right here. I think it has 5 different effects. These are things I'm going to test out. This is obviously a dual control, so you can see that you can go through setting functions as well as the actual brightness of the light. And you can set this up, I believe, pair it with additional lights. That's pretty much standard on anything like this, and that's why you see the channel and grouping right there next to the trigger lock. So it'll be interesting to see, again, just how well this little X60 V2 performs. I'm hoping that it replaces what I presently use. There's nothing wrong with the video light that I use, but it does suck a lot more juice, and for the brightness I need, I don't necessarily need something that large and powerful. So this may be exactly what the doctor ordered. And the remote, as I mentioned, you know, remotes are simple, straightforward things, right? But on the unit that I presently am using, the remote is actually a pitfall. It's just, you know, unfortunately, it doesn't stand up to the quality of the light. So I'm hoping this thing does. Powered by traditional, looks like AAA batteries. So that already is a good sign. The other one that I'm using, that I actually am using right now for this review, is powered by, you know, the car fob batteries, this stuff right here. And this sort of remote, for the quality of the light that it's paired with, it's just, the remote is terrible. I have no other way of putting it. So I'm hoping to see a much better product here. You notice they didn't include the batteries, but that's not a big deal. So overall, this light looks great. Let's hope it performs as well as it looks. And clearly, this is possibly a very good alternative to the Aperture 120D, much like the light I'm using now, but at a much lower cost, much smaller form factor. And when it comes to traveling, the fact that it is so small and it has the Bowens mount, which means you can pretty much put anything on this you want. So you don't have to use a softbox, clearly. If you want to use filters, barn doors, I mean, the world is your oyster, proverbially speaking. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Please stay safe. Later.